Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this SpeedGaming presentation on SpeedGaming 4 of the Link to the Past Randomizer 2022 main tournament. We are in the group stages here. This is a match in Group Q, or Group Q, as it may say on the screen. Some of the groups got a little creative, turning their letters into group names, between Hyruler and Jon Snuu. I am MindDM. I am joined on the commentary today by the baby-faced assassin, Smirk JD. Smirk, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you, MindDM. I love that you still use that. I am excited for this race. I am a fan of both of these runners. Jon Snuu definitely helped me a lot in learning, and Hyruler is somebody that I've raced with a lot in the daily races. So I'm really excited to see what they show us today. How about you?
Yep, I'm more familiar with Snuu than I am with Hyruler, but I have definitely faced off against Hyruler in a handful of those same daily races. A very competent and competitive runner, as Snuu is as well. And they ought to be underway here in the near future. There were a couple of minor technical difficulties that delayed the start of this one ever so slightly, but we have the qualifier mode today. This is going to be the open hard pool, open heart surgery as some have been calling it. So look forward to a seed that you probably have seen before.
Yeah, and as far as records are concerned, I think in the group, Jon Snuu has only played one match so far, and he did take a win, whereas Hyruler has played 3 matches, and I think they've all been losses. So Hyruler needs to pull in some wins here if he's looking to move forward into brackets.
It is decidedly a dangerous group. The other two in this group are Ninban, who is currently 2-2, and Zero Rush, who is 2-0.
Yeah, this is a very high level group to be in. I am not jealous of anyone in there.
That is not an uncommon statement, no matter which group you wind up looking at in main tournament. All terrifying, but here we go. We are off. Small key Hyrule Castle, piece of heart. There are 48 of those in the pool, so get used to seeing those, folks. We're going to be seeing a few of them.
Okay, that was a green pendant on Eastern and a red crystal on Tower of Hera. I didn't catch Desert, though.
Desert was just a regular crystal, so we've got a bit of a mixed bag in the light world. A couple of reasonably high-powered dungeons there, and Desert I always feel a little iffy on just because the requirements to beat it for a light world dungeon are fairly high.
Yeah, definitely the highest of all of them. But, you know, with this mode, you don't have progressive bows. So having that Eastern Palace be a pendant, I'm curious about what will happen with Pod. Are we going to get another Qualifier 1?
Yeah, always difficult to say going into it with the non-progressive bows in this modified hard item pool. Snuu seems to be set for that uncle route at the moment, didn't find anything that he could go into the front of Escape with, just some money to be moving along the seed, while Hyruler has given us a check of the Lumberjacks, which I missed, and is now in the forest, opting to pick these 10 sticks up.
Yeah, interesting. But I definitely missed that Lumberjack check as well.
I do enjoy the optimism, saying, you know, I'll take these because I'm going to find a bow here in the near future, and I'm not going to have to worry about it.
Oh, interesting. A save and quit after the Lost Woods.
I like this. Hyruler has no bombs, had not checked the house yet, is in a position where maybe you just do the south route, yep, here to the village, so you can try to farm up a couple of bombs off of the 50-50 bushes south of the grove.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You know, get some bombs before heading into Kakariko, so you don't have to worry about it. John, however, does have the 60 rupees. He might just go straight down and just buy them.
Entirely possible. Could also have a look at a tree hole, but I don't think he has slain enough additional enemies to get new information. Well, Hyruler is not having any luck with these 50-50s.
Yeah, just one bomb so far, and he's done this, what, 3 times now? 1 for 6? 1 for 8?
Sometimes the game just does not cooperate with you, and... Alright, there's a second. Is 2 enough? No, Hyruler says 2 is not enough.
Yeah, so if anybody is curious, those bushes, the top right and bottom left there, are supposed to be 50-50 chance of getting a bomb there. So the fact that he only found 2 out of 8 pulls is definitely below par.
But then on the final trip, picks up 2 more, has enough to do everything, going to go ahead and blind run the race game.
Right, Snoo finding the ether medallion there in the well, and a mirror. But he decided to go ahead and drop into the well without bombs, hoping to find some in there, but unfortunately did not.
Willing to make the gamble, that's a play you can make. Not necessarily a good or a bad one, it just did not happen to work out this time.
Meanwhile, that race game only had 1 single arrow, and after having already picked up two packs of 10, Hyruler was like, never mind.
I'm pretty sure if I had gone to all the trouble of doing that blind, I would have gone ahead and picked it up.
I know, the Arrow of Destiny, you just know that it's going to come in handy with it.
Just have to keep that in the back of your quiver until the very end of the game when you need that one last stick to stick into the pig.
Exactly. Alright, now we get to see some more of Kakariko. And a bottle there in the chicken hut opens up that sick kid.
The only bottle in the pool that we are going to see, all 4 of them are placed, but once you have one, the rest of them turn into, I believe, it's blue 5s.
It is indeed, and I had actually forgotten about that fact, so just as a reminder, this is open tournament hard, which means you can only get the green mail, a maximum of a tempered sword. Silvers are available, but the bows are not progressive, so they're separate items. And let's see, what else? You can only get a fighter shield, which Jon Snow already has. And like MindDM explained, only 1 bottle. And there's one thing I'm forgetting. Oh yes, half magic. Half magic is not a thing.
Well, it's a thing. It's just been replaced by a small magic decanter.
A rude thing. Oh, that could have been a bottle right there. That blue 5 there that Jon Snow just found in the back of the blind side.
And it's just a 20 in the back of the well. Snoo is going to go back and get the news that, well, you could have bypassed it, but you're back up at the top of the village making the rest of these checks anyway. You go ahead and do it for peace of mind, if nothing else.
For sure. Okay, so Kakariko not giving us a whole lot of information just yet. We have a lamp, the ether medallion, and the mirror. Not exactly clear signs, if I say so.
Seems like the kind of seed where you just go down to South Shore and take your chances.
Yeah, I agree. So I really wish they would have removed like the other blue peas out of the chests. That way, you know, if you find a 5, that it's definitely where another bottle was.
That it's certainly an item replacement.
Yeah.
That would have been nice, but that was not the choice they made.
Oh, looks like Jon Snow is also doing the race game blind. And Hyruler heading over to the Saha Eastern area.
It's a nice little bit of density, and unlike Jon Snow, Hyruler down to 3 bombs at the moment. That's not really enough to get through Mini Moldorm Cave unless you get extremely lucky, because you're going to have to spend 1 just to get in.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know how you do it with 2. Like, they would have to drop bombs, right?
They would either have to be in the bomb pack, or you would have to wait around until one of them or a couple of them wiggled onto the same... Because they can get through the top or the bottom there. It happens occasionally, just not commonly.
Well, looks like Hyruler's bomb troubles are bailed out by the back of Saha's with 2 3-packs there. And it looks like he's continuing on to Pendant Eastern. And if you see there, Jon Snuu just picked up the silver arrows. So you can see it's a separate item altogether. Still needs to find the bow for any kind of bow progression that isn't glitchable. And there is the half magic, which just looks like a tiny, small magic decanter there.
It is a bit of a throwback to the days of yore. While I was not playing then, I kind of got my start into paying attention to the randomizer by watching old VODs from the 2017 tournament. Back then, bows weren't progressive, so this is a little bit of a harkening back to days of long ago, as it were. And I should not let go entirely unnoticed, as you had mentioned Hyruler's play into Eastern. Go ahead and make the Pendant Eastern play. You're kind of hoping not to have to clear it anyway in the long run. But it is one of those early sphere locations. You have the lamp, so everything but the boss is in logic to you, and the game could just put something here.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Jon Snuu did the dam all the way over to Agahnim check, saving a screen transition here in the South Shore.
It's a bit more of a safe play, going ahead and splitting up Dam and Agahnim versus Mini Moldorm Cave and Ice Rod Cave to try and make sure you don't leave some Sphere 1 location behind. It's certainly something that a lot of runners, including myself, did a lot of during the qualifiers, because it's a very qualifier-safe kind of play. Don't get burned on those early locations.
Indeed. It does look like these little troll dorms are in the bomb pack, though, so depending on their drop rate. And boots! You know I'm happy. I like boots. I love boots. I like getting them early. I'm pretty sure Jon Snuu does too, and once Hyruler gets there, I'm sure he'll be happy as well.
Ah, the boots, but they feel a little less good when you still have not found a sword.
Very true, very true. It's kind of funny to watch Celeste, the Jon Snoo sprite is Celeste from Final Fantasy. The dash looks very interesting. That crab was being such a bully.
Crabs get hungry too sometimes.
Ooh. An ice rod.
That could be a really interesting location for that ice rod, depending on how long it takes for both of these runners to find the rest of their Dark World access package.
I mean, let's see. They have Front of Escape right now that's available. And, I mean, fake flippers.
They have the entirety of Escape because the key was in the Sanctuary chest, and they have the lamp, so fully logical access there.
Very good point. They can get all the way to the back of Escape by going through the front. Absolutely. And, you know, with the mirror in hand, that's not necessarily like a bad play or anything.
Snoo with these boots is going to save quit sync. We're going to get a Bonk Rocks check here, and Hyruler is opting to pick up the half magic replacement. Was on 0 magic there.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a little bit of magic in hand in case you find like the powder and the hammer, you need to check it, and you still haven't gotten any full magics anywhere. Ooh, Moon Pearl locked behind the boots in Bonk Rocks. Definitely a good find, but it still doesn't really do much until we find the rest of the Dark World access.
Looking for glove and hammer or 2 swords. Snoo now heading over toward the Sahand Eastern area. Let's see if he wants to go for the full dive. But it really is looking like the Front of Escape is just going to hold the answers today.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. Or, you know, like you said, the 2 swords, which, you know, could be in Front of Escape as well, could lead to Aga access to the Dark World. One point to mention here is, I think since, Jon Snuu got those boots before coming to this area, he will get to do it a little bit faster than Hyruler, and save some time right there, but overall, they didn't get the boots too far apart, so...
It's not some kind of a 30 minutes boots gap, which is nice. Once you have boots that much longer than your opponent, the time does tend to stack up a little bit. And Jon Snuu going to make the play into Eastern, while Hyruler is indeed attempting to set up the Water Walk state here. So once again, we're going to wind up pretty even on checks done.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if Hyruler does opt to do Hobo, though.
It looks to be setting up a fake flipper, so I'm guessing this will be a swim to the old guy under the bridge, and then a water walk out. This is a little routing trick that I like. Snuu opted for a bit of an alternative where he hung on to his water walk state and tried to do everything else, and then just decided, nah, you know what, we're done. It's all out of logic anyway, so don't worry about it.
I mean, that's fair, but if something's here and with this old man under the bridge, might be a while. Just the red boomerang, though, so not missing out on too much there. I do prefer the red boomerang, but it's not something that's required at all.
I do have a friend who says that you can count the Aga seeds by the number of times that the game gives you both boomerangs.
Oh, really? How does that work?
I don't know, but it seems to work for him.
Interesting. So is like finding two boomerangs means definite Agassi, or?
Yeah, that's the one.
Wow.
Please note that is not necessarily the one, but again, it seems to work out for him more often than not. Such is life in the randomizer.
Yeah, it's always fun to find like little things. Zora isn't in logic, but neither of them have the cash when they came up here anyway. So I'm curious how orphaned the Zora will be later. I mean, the mirror is already enhanced, so once flippers are available, it could be combined with catfish. Looks like they're both just about to cover everything the other has done, with Hyruler missing out on Agahnim and Jon Snuu missing out on the old man under the bridge. So I expect they're both hopping into the front of escape here.
By far the densest location that both of them have left, it would be surprising if any of them opted for any other strategy here.
Yeah.
And Hyruler is again a little... Oh, Hyruler had also not done the uncle checks here, which partially explains why the magic meter was a little lower than we might have anticipated. I would not be terribly surprised if Hyruler decided to pick those up and use the ice rod on a couple of blue guards in here to save some bombs, since walking in here with 4 bombs is not the best necessarily.
Yeah, absolutely. I do wonder, where did Jon get the full magic? Was it one of the tree poles, or...?
I think it was an enemy drop, but I do not recall which one off the top of my head.
Okay.
Guards are in the magic pack. That would do it.
There we go. And so, like you said, the ice rod kills the blue guards with 1 shot, but not the green guards. So you still have to use the bomb for this green guard here. There it is. Full magic for Hyruler.
Jon Snuu does not seem to be particularly concerned going for the bomb strats anyway.
Hey, if you know how to do it with bombs, I mean, it does take a little bit longer than using the ice rod, but you may need that magic later. Not sure. Yeah, there's gotta be something here, right? I mean, we know everything else.
Unless we've just outright forgotten something, which is possible but unlikely. And remember, we do get the full escape sequence here. It doesn't necessarily have to be in
You're
cell to
right.
cell.
Absolutely, you're right. And it looks like it is. Dark Cross to the back of Escape.
Oh, Hyruler has frozen a green guard rather than a blue guard and is now going to have to expend one of those precious bombs.
Oh. Hey!
Almost got through the door and then says, oh, that's a spicy 4-bomb pack right there. I would like that.
Oh no, I think that made him wonder if he can't freeze these blue guards.
It may have, but by the same token, it did put him in a position where he had enough bombs that he didn't have to worry about it.
Very true, very true.
So maybe 6 of one, but half a dozen of the other. And hey, all of a sudden a glove, so we've got some logical mountain access.
Okay, so is it faster to go ahead and continue through the back or just save and quit and drop down?
Save and quits are reasonably slow. Then you have to screen transition over, you have to push the tombstone, you have to drop in. I would just keep going. Dark Cross is close enough to the back.
Yeah, but I mean, you're on bombs, you know? Like, if you had a sword, sure, you're just dashing through everything, but with bombs? Yeah, I don't know. It's probably about the same. And yes, in chat, yes, you can pick up the frozen guards, and that is a very, it's like the best strat to do against the ball and chain guard there. It's the most fun, for sure.
Certainly a favorite when it comes to having fun with the video game. And that glove was the only thing in the escape sequence. It was just some sticks and, what was it, a 3-bomb pack or a 20 or something in the back 3 chests there?
Yeah. But like you said, the glove does open up the mountain. It also puts Zora in logic now.
Zora, still not an ideal logical check, sitting at 400 and X rupees between the two of them. With their cash pools combined, they could pay off the Zora Lord once, but I find it unlikely that either of them is looking to give their opponent a helping hand today.
Absolutely not. Alright, and up here on the mountain, let's see, there's not that much you can do. Let's see, it's the Old Man, Inside Spec Rock, Top of Spec Rock, and Hera. But you can't clear Hera with this item set. So, ooh, John getting just missing it there. He got really bullied by those dead rocks, and then that cabbage came down and just smacked him. So he's got to go through that Old Man walk one more time.
And that can be a danger, particularly in something like Randomizer, where you pick up the Old Man and then you are stuck having picked up the Old Man until you return him. A little less concerning in something like this, where you just have to say, okay, Dead Rock RNG, not getting wrecked by it this time.
And looks like he's successful this time around, so go ahead and making that climb. But it did give Hyruler a little bit of time to catch up here. Still getting bullied by these cabbages, though, man.
They call it Death Mountain for a reason.
Yeah. Never underestimate Death Mountain.
The funny thing is that the Dark World, the world twisted by Ganon out of what was once the Golden Land, is less deadly on the mountain than the Light World is.
Right? Jon Snuu demonstrating hovering here to pick up that sword inside Spec Rock. Hovering there and hovering back. Definitely going to save him some time here, and if Hyruler can't also hover, I'm not sure.
I do not know if Hyruler is a hover or not, but that was very cleanly done by Jon Snuu.
Very, yeah. Okay, Pendants and Skullwood and Swamp Palace and the other 5-6 crystal at Pod. So we are safe, mind him. It is not a Mimic Clip Seed.
Nope. Although you could go into Pod and choose to Mimic Clip there anyway, you are going to have a bow by the time you get to GT.
Okay, so Power to Mario, you were correct. Cape and Hera. Is this Aga or what?
It is, in fact, beginning to look a lot like Aga.
That said, that was the big key here. You can go ahead and make the Hera climb, fight the boss here, Choldorm, and see what else is here. I mean, you're already up here, might as well. And who knows, maybe there's a hammer or another glove sitting here.
Snoo probably a little upset with himself in that Beatles room. Definitely a runner that I know has put a lot of the time into NMG, and that was not the NMG strat. It's not even close.
Oh, be careful here, these do a whole heart of damage.
Ah, the Tower of Hera Petting Zoo. One of those early places where NMG runs go to die. That is both of our items out of Tower of Hera, so our runners are going to get to avoid the basement. I expect that both of them will continue to pick up this 5/6 crystal, of course.
Oh yeah, for sure. Having hit the switch down there, Jon Snoo's able to recover his health here before going into the Troldom fight. Very good call. Hyruler hitting the switch as well. And mean Troldorm right off the bat. Knocks him off.
Moldorm 1, runners nothing. It is early days. The score could yet turn.
Alright, take 2. Yeah, fortunately they do have the cape here, so that's a thing.
And Snoo says, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and make use of this, see if I can make my life a little easier.
And he does it.
One full magic bar later, Moldorm 1, runners 1.
And that is crystal number 1 for Jon Snoo at 24.55. See how Hyrule does.
Seems to be going with a bit more of the classic style of the fight, not employing the cape here, but seems to be getting some pretty good hits in. Onto the enraged phase, and did not get the poke there as Moldorm ran away, but does get the spin in at the end.
Nicely done by Hyruler. So overall, 2-1 for players versus Troldorm.
Ah, but fear not, this is a 7-7 defeat Ganon seed. Moldorm may yet have its revenge.
Stay tuned. Alright, but this is the Aga play for Jon Snoo. I don't think he had... I feel like there's nothing left except for Zora. That's in logic, so... Or even out of logic, really.
Looks like Hyruler wanted to pick up a quick map check before leaving the area here. Neglected to get it on his way up to Tower of Hera.
And yep, the Aga climb with the fighter sword is not the most entertaining one. It's a little slow, but it seems like that's what you gotta do on this seed.
In Jon Snoo's position, I don't know that there is another available check unless you want to spend all of the time farming money for Zora. That, I think, is his last logical option.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and for Hyruler, it's just Agahnim, right? Agahnim and Zora?
Agahnim and Zora, I believe.
Oh, right, Jon Snoo also did skip the man under the bridge, so...
Ah, yep. But completely out of logic, out of sight, out of mind. When the flippers show up, we can worry about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is one of those seeds where, like, you know, I would definitely make the Aga play as well. And even if, let's say there is Dark World access on Zora, like, I probably assume my opponent took the Aga bait as well. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't feel like I'm behind all of a sudden just because Aga was not required.
In a situation where the Zora money was not readily available, I feel like a lot of runners wind up doing this, whether or not Zora eventually has an answer.
Exactly. Nice use of the boomerang there for Jon Snuu, freezing those guards into the corner and able to get a double hit with the spins there in the corner.
Hyruler also on the climb, although into the dark, while Jon Snuu is out of the dark, goes ahead and grabs that pot worth of NMG arrows, because of course you do, it's kind of muscle memory.
That was incredibly fast for that room. He just threw those pots, threw that boomerang, grabbed the arrows, and was gone.
It's almost like he's practiced that the odd couple of 100 times.
Yes, as a reminder, Jon Snuu is definitely an NMG player. And that was a pretty gold standard there for that room.
A bit unfortunate that we didn't wind up with the full equipment set so that he could really show off the skills, but for the rooms that he could just go ahead and do the way he expects to do them, looks pretty good.
What exactly are we missing for, like, if this were NMG? Like, what do you have extra for the Agahnim?
The bow and the Master Sword would be the two big ones.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that would definitely make a difference.
There's a really neat strat in that room with the two red spear guards after you come out of the dark, where you shoot a couple of arrows in each direction while turning to block their spears with your shield.
Wow, fancy. Even using the shield, that's great. Jon Snuu throwing boomerangs at Akka. I have not actually counted yet. How many blue balls? I don't think we've gotten any.
I don't think we've had any yet, but that's always subject to change, he says, as the first one comes out. As is tradition, as soon as you start talking about it, you summon it.
Yep. But down Aga goes for Jon Snoo's side. Hyruler just getting into the Aga fight, so they're pretty neck and neck in terms of progression. We'll see what happens, where they decide to go from here.
There aren't a great deal of options right at the moment. You can either take that glove and go up to Catfish, or you can go down to Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, you can't even get to the North Dark World from here, so not very much left to do. And both of them checked Lumberjack, I think, or did Jon Snuu skip it?
They both checked it.
They both checked it? Okay, so yeah, they know that nothing's there, so it's gotta be either here, in Pod, or on Zora.
And for better or worse, this is going to be Jon Snuu at the very least in the position to check Zora, but without the money to do it yet and still. Unless Catfish just throws out a hundo or a 300, in which case things change.
Oh, or the flippers, which does give us access to the North Dark World now, right?
I'm not sure how. Flippers would be used to swim around the obstruction, but the glove gets us around the obstruction.
You're right. You're right.
Snuu going to go pick off the last flipper check here says, you know, this is the one thing that I'm worried about, the one thing that I could have done and did not before making the Aga play. Please tell me it wasn't just go get flippers on Catfish to come here. That would feel kind of bad. But I don't want to be punished, so I'm doing it anyway. Yeah. Meanwhile, Hyruler are going to go ahead and head right into Palace of Darkness.
Alright.
And we'll see, do we have a super early bow lock? Probably not, but if we do, it's going to be something good. Nope, we've got a small key. He checked the waterfall earlier with a waterwalk state to answer the speculation in chat of what's going on here. It was just that he happened to skip the under the bridge check.
Yeah. Jon Snuu making his way up to pod. I wonder what that means. So Swamp Palace is a pendant. So the flippers may not really truly be required.
That is an interesting location for that flute. We already had the logical mountain access, so right now it changes all of nothing.
Yeah, so I definitely continue searching in here.
It's one of those things where it's nice to have in the back pocket because you know with Mire as a crystal you're going to need it eventually anyway, but something else still has to show up here in Palace of Darkness.
Or Zora. I'm just gonna keep saying it.
Okay, yes, or Zora, which we are now a little further away from, although the Dark U Rupee Room down here, that Rupee Room that you don't even really think of as a Rupee Room, does contain enough to get our runners up to that Zora money threshold, finally.
Very true.
Which could put Hyruler, if he opts to use it, into a pretty good shape to go up to Catfish.
He didn't actually collect all that money, though.
Jon Snuu attempting the super time save hover over here, going to give it at least a second try.
There it is. Hammer in the harmless hellway of pod. Of course, hammer and pod, right? That's just how it works.
That's just how the video game's supposed to work. That's what you're expecting to see. And that does regularize our Dark World access a little bit. Gives you some nice access to the Western Dark World with that portal to 3. You can start at the portal at 4 and do Hype Cave first if you're so inclined. There are options now.
Now, was also a Cane of Burna here in which opens Spike Cave, and it's just kind of a nice safety to have. It's something I really like to have in open hard. Makes blind just super safe, super easy. And anytime you're in doubt, you can just pop on that cane. I mean, they already had the cape, so it wasn't like that bad, but
it looks like both Snuu and Hyruler are going to go ahead and make the sequence break here. Snuu is going to show off the RTA Mimic Whip, which is a disgustingly and deceptively difficult, at least for some people, tech.
he definitely made it look easy.
Yeah, he makes it look easy. I know a number of other people who do as well. All I ever get out of it when practicing is a sore thumb. Words are difficult. How speak good on Restream.
Alright, meanwhile, Hyruler demonstrates the potion glitch to have the same effect here, knock those mimics out of sight, out of mind. So he's going to get this Bowlock side checked as well.
There's the small key. We knew that had to be there because otherwise we were never going to the boss, and now Hyruler knows that the last item is in fact on the boss. Looks like we're going to get a quick save and quit here once to activate that flute at the earliest possible opportunity, while Jon Snuu is doing what I was saying a little bit ago when Hyruler was down here, going to try and scoop up just as many of those rupee drops here in the Dark U basement as possible.
This is going to put him over that 500 required for Zora, so we may see that happen. I don't know, he might change his mind after he finds the hammer here. But still, better safe than sorry to have those rupees in hand.
And it's not as though he doesn't have a few other monetary checks left to make in the game as well. There are a couple over on the west side of the Dark World. Now, Hyruler has started at the portal to 4, and there are the mitts and the magic bag full of swag there in Hype Cave.
Yeah, decently hype, I would say. I mean, mitts are not my favorite item to get before other things, but at this point, it's a pretty good one to have in hand while heading over to the left here.
It makes the route through the South Dark World up into the village a whole lot cleaner rather than having to do dig game and then mirror, go up to the portal at 3 and use the hammer location. You can just lift the rock instead and stay in the Dark World and keep doing the things you want to do.
Yep, absolutely.
Ah, that's what Jon Snoo is up to. He's going to pick up this shovel before starting this Southern Dark World loop. Well, after he mirror bonks at least once.
Yeah, we gotta get the mirror bonk in there, you know, just for posterity.
Says,
But
I know exactly where the shrubbery is, and I'm gonna hit it. Just for you, chat. Jon Snoo putting on that show for your enjoyment, and Hyruler as well. Even though we're still seeing checks, you know, we're getting on towards 40 minutes into this, and a lot of these main tournament races stay so close that I never really get around to saying this. So remember to go ahead and follow these runners if you enjoy the show they're putting on for you. A little entertainment on a Saturday afternoon, rando tourney season.
Yeah, both of these runners are incredibly fun to watch. Hyruler, you know, like we talked about earlier, does a lot of daily races, and I believe ladder as well. So definitely got a stream going a lot. And Jon Snoo, like we talked about as well, is an NMG runner. I'm not sure if he streams as often as Hyruler does, but definitely fun to watch when he does stream.
He does turn into a bit of a variety streamer from time to time. There was a hot couple of months where he was doing the Metroid Dread thing. Super Metroid, if you're into that, I know he's a fan of. Also, fighting games. I know there's a little bit of a fighting game background there for Jon Snoo. So competitive video gaming, not new on the Snoo side of things.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're gonna get to see the shovel check here.
Ah, 2 fetch quests, no waiting. We're also getting Magic Bat.
Just a piece of heart on the shovel, and Quake Medallion on Magic Bat. What do you think, Mindium? Quake required?
It's tough to say, but with that flute, we'll probably find out in the fairly near future, I would think.
Yeah, it's definitely a check I like to do ASAP when I have the mitts, flute, and mirror. But I mean, you have this whole left side here, Village of Outcasts going from Hype Cave with that with those mitts. So definitely very sensible play from Hyruler.
It would be entirely reasonable to see something like the full Village of Outcasts play, but decide I don't really want to do Skull Woods yet, so let's go ahead and pop the mirror and go see the Mire area after the Thieves Town play.
Yeah, I could see that. The only thing that would bother me a little bit is having that cape and not scouting Bumper Ledge. I always feel like it's dangerous.
Yeah, I think the idea is you're leaving it in a position where you would have Skull Woods, you would have essentially all of the Northern Dark World loop aside from the Check at Bonk Rocks where the Moon Pearl was.
For sure. And we also know that the cape was the hard required access for Aga. Well, yeah, basically, because both Hammer and another set of gloves were in the Dark World. So we know Zora cannot have anything that was Dark World required.
The Zora could theoretically have a second sword.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a fair point. But then that still wouldn't say it's it would it would say
it would be an alternative Aga access.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
It was an Aga seed for sure. We know this much. But it could have been that you could have skipped the cape somehow and wound up with sword for your Aga access, if Zora has one.
Question in chat, is that Samaria, Bow, Fire Rod, and Sword mode? I believe so. We have all 3 medallions on Hyruler's side. Jon Snoo probably going to be getting those here soon. That looks like that's all that's required. I mean, Hyruler might need the flippers, depending on if, like, Swamp is required to dip for example.
And you have to think that having already shown off the hover in the cave up there on the mountain, that Jon Snuu was saying, I don't want anything to be in swamp. I want to be as far away from swamp as humanly possible.
Yeah. And yeah, hookshot wasn't mentioned there, but it is technically required if you cannot hover or Moldorm bounce. And to answer another question in chat from Gwydion Knight, why can't Zora be Dark World locked? Well, it's more that like we were wondering if Zora had, you know, something that would give us access to Dark World, like the hammer or the other pair of gloves. But we found both the hammer and another set of gloves in the Dark World. Therefore, Zora could not have either of those.
I feel like I only blinked and we've missed the fact that Hyruler is already about 2/3 of the way through the dungeon here, is already back into the decidedly not harmless Hellway, going to use the magic powder there on the anti-fairy. Says, I could use just a few more hit points at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary thing to be at 2 hearts in Thieves Town, because the enemies here do 2 hearts of damage, so if you can use a powder and save yourself from that worry, you can make this dungeon a little faster for yourself.
Just another one of those pieces of heart. Looks like no small key on offer, locked away in the big chest there, which means logically boss is hammer locked, but we've had the hammer since forever at this point, so not a concern to the runners.
And it's not showing on Jon Snoo's tracker, but I do believe he does have the hammer as well. I think he got that in pod. And just a note for others who are watching and curious about that, sometimes the tracker system swallows inputs. So if you ever see something that's not on a tracker, our tracker probably highlighted it, but it got swallowed. Don't be concerned, the tracker does not dictate what the runner actually has, so.
Speaking of things that the runners have, Hyruler pulling down a second crystal, having defeated Blind in the back of Thieves Town. No damage taken. Nicely fought.
Very, very well done.
Power to Mario, you may not be wrong there. I'm pretty sure that the trackers secretly do control ALTTPR.
That's what it is. Okay, so this is Hyruler going into Skull Woods. He's going to check the front of Skull Woods here. It is a pendant. A lot of people just consider this overworld. So being thorough here.
And may simply be in a position where he says, I'm here right now, there's not a whole lot else that I really want to go have to do, and given that I don't really want to have to beat this dungeon anyway, why not just go have the look-see right now?
Yeah, very, very fair. Let's see, we do know that Desert Palace is available. Ice Palace is Fake Flipper available for Hyruler.
That was a mirror in advance there. Hyruler tried to pick this key up and mirrored a couple of frames before picking it up, so had to come back for a second swipe at the key. Wanted that to be sure that he could unlock everything here in the front without having to do inconvenient things like dropping into the left side. But would have been bailed out in any case.
Oh, Jon Snoo, you don't have a key?
Maybe a little more of that NMG muscle memory coming
Yeah.
back to bite in this particular case. It's nice when it just says, oh hey, here's a trick that you've done 100,000 times before, this will be an easy game, but less so when you're just kind of autopiloting through a dungeon on more or less the equipment you expect, and, well, I'm supposed to have a key, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm getting an item out of the big chest, right?
And then, nope.
And then you faceplant into the door. Speaking of faceplanting, Hyruler faceplants into a wall, but only after getting the book out of the Skullwood's big chest.
Oh, and he's so close to the pedestal. I wonder if I would have checked it here.
From Hyruler's perspective, the pedestal is a bit of a gambly kind of look at the moment. No fire rod to get into the back of Skullwoods, no flippers to get into Swamp Palace, and no bow to clear Eastern.
Yeah, that's true. So the only things that could be there would be, what, the Cane of Samaria, and that's it.
You know, maybe if all 3 of the other items fall into your inventory, you start worrying about it, but until then, it's a check that takes a little while to do, and, well, you've got other places to be and other things to try and grab.
Very true. And looks like Hyruler's going to continue his path here into the North Dark World. Just wanted to hop down and activate that flute real quick, but coming back up here to check Bumper Ledge. Meanwhile, Jon Snuu is skipping the front of Skullwoods and going directly to the back here. Did he check Bumper Ledge? I didn't catch that.
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay. What was there? I just missed it on Hyruler's too.
I have to think that one of them would have it by now if it had been
That's
anything
true,
meaningful,
yeah.
so I think we
Yeah,
can just scratch that one off and we'll ignore the fact that nobody noticed.
Okay, chat noticed. There was a piece of heart. Great. Thank you, chat.
See, if we were Smart Smirk, what we would have done was we would have just guessed piece of heart, since open heart surgery, we have 48 of them, less the handful that we found already.
Yeah, that's fair. That would have been a very good guess.
Hyruler does a double take at that 20 and says, you know what? I do still need Zora money, and that gets me there.
Yep, and it looks like he's on his way over to the catfish side of things. Without the flippers, he'll have to turn, jump. Or he could just, flip and go over there. And Jon Snuu doing what I would like to do super early when I find these items, checking the mire area. This is Mire Shed. I don't think he checked the mire entry requirement, but it doesn't really matter since we have all 3 medallions.
I did not see him check it, and that would explain why. Okay, and we are going to get an attempt at the current jump from Hyruler here. Not always the easiest trick in the world. I do not know the specific pixel that he's looking for on this lineup, so I'm not there it is. All right, 4th try.
Got it.
Easy game.
Right. Yeah, I'm not familiar with his specific setup, so I wasn't sure what he was looking for there, but he seemed to get it.
And of all the things to be rewarded with when you do the kern jump, the flippers off of the catfish is probably going to feel pretty good to him, actually.
Yeah. And then we'll finally get to see what's on Zora. Meanwhile, a fire rod is just sitting there in Desert Palace, putting us one step closer.
Just a bow and a Samaria, very technically, logically hookshot as well. That may be a full requirement for Hyruler. We did not see a hover earlier, but could be one of those people proficient in the bolt mounts.
Yeah, I'm not actually familiar with if Hyruler can do either of those, but I suspect you'll see. If they become an issue. And yeah, thank you, Neustria, for pointing out in chat. We also do need another sword. We are still on fighter sword.
You expect that one of those is going to show up sooner or later. And the other three could just be in Ganon's tower. Have fun doing your hammer, trinex, and
Oh gosh.
fighter sword, cape, vitreous for the bow, and yeah.
Okay, it looks like Hyruler is heading up the mountain again. This could be a spike cave check and or a super bunny and the first item in hookshot cave check.
Likely to be trying to pick up just about everything up here with the hammer, the mitts, the mirror. Just go ahead and do all the things.
Yeah. Alright. Using that book to find out what's on Ether Tablet. Can't pick it up, but it won't matter. You won't have to come back there. It's just 10 arrows.
We are getting a hammer Landmolas here from Jon Snuu. Not always the easiest fight with the hammer hitbox, but he is looking at make pretty easy and gets a double hit KO there for the final two worms.
Very nicely done. And meanwhile, poor Hyruler got blocked completely by a dead rock on that bridge. And that's crystal number 3 for Jon Snuu. Let's see. I wonder if we'll see Ice Palace here.
With this stop at the potion shop, I think you're probably right. Just wants to have the extra magic refill and health as well for just in a pinch. Because fighter sword or even hammer cold stare is pretty time consuming. You'd rather just go ahead and pop that magic extension and make sure you do butter sword class damage with the fire rod.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's something that Jon Snuu has often told me. He's like, just use the potion and use your fire rod. So, I suspect that's what he'll do.
Ah, a runner that takes his own advice. More rare than you might expect.
But there is a Master Sword available there in Super Bunny Cave that Hyruler just found.
And so much for sword mode, at least on Hyruler's side. Jon Snuu with a bit of an alternate bomb set up there. You know, the one that I'm familiar with that a lot of runners use will be to go stand on the second tile of the room, place 2 bombs to the right, and then throw left, but the beginning of Snoo's setup is a little different. The end result is the same. All of the pin gators just kind of go pop at the same time.
Very handy trick to know.
Not only a handy trick, it's also faster.
Wait, really? Then, like,
Yep.
having... Like, let's say you have the Tempered Sword?
I believe the technical fastest strat involves a tempered sword spin and 1 bomb.
Oh, interesting. Okay. There's one thing we know about Jon Snuu is he likes fast. Whatever is faster, if it costs more, he'll go for it.
Like, say, the Ice Palace Bomb Jump Hover.
The Ice Palace Bomb Jump Hover, yes. Very well done.
Says, I'm not setting this up, I'm not even going to worry about it, we're just going to hover, I'll save the bomb, I'll save the time, we're good.
Wait a minute, had they not done Paradox Cave yet?
They didn't have any access earlier.
That's right, they couldn't get over here. Okay, so I thought Hyruler coming up here for just those few items, but it's actually a lot more than that, and there is the Cane of Samaria.
Ah, the Cane of Samaria in Paradox 5. Jon Snuu was going for my favorite clip in the game and did not get it, unfortunately. Now we have a mushroom in inventory. Who knows if that has any value or not. Snuu wants to go through that door. It does not have a small key. Has to go to some backup strats.
Meanwhile, it looks like Hyruler might be heading back up to go into TR here. Oh wait,
Without the
no.
fire rod,
Without the fire rod, yeah, I don't know.
Some runners could be convinced if you're going to get locked out, you're usually going to get locked out pretty quickly, and if the fire rod's just in here and you skip it now, when are you ever getting back to it?
Yeah, that's a very fair point. So let's see what happens, see what he finds here.
Alternatively, maybe he finds the bow in one of these first couple of checks. The first check may be the only one he can make if it's not a small key, but we'll find out here in a second.
And you know, like a lot of these tournament hards, I've seen hookshot in TR, so.
I feel like I've seen a lot of hookshot in hammer pegs and on graveyard ledge, but that may just be me. Hyruler with the Master Sword spins there to clear out the pokey. Now, working on Chomp's room, we are going to go ahead and pull out the blue cane and say we're just going to make sure that this check happens.
You're out of keys, so can't continue.
Quickly locked out, which is more or less what you expect. Kind of unfortunate that you didn't find anything, but now you know you're not going to be punished by hard last locating it.
Yep, for sure. And Jon Snuu did find a Master Sword there in Ice Palace as well, so... Depending... Oh no! Looks like Hyruler was heading over to do probably Spike Cave? But got beat up by a Lionel there on the way. Master Sword does not damage those guys, so you have to stop and either mirror or use a hook shot or some kind of invuln to get past them.
Some kind of a quick invulnerability item likely to have been Hyruler's best bet there, but was not on the menu in time.
Yeah. This could also be an Ice Palace play from Hyruler. After having that Cane of Samaria, Ice Palace is definitely more attractive with the Icebreaker glitch. So he goes to buy the potion, gets his magic refill, and loses to 8. Question in chat from Andrew Racho. The fire rod was in Desert Palace.
And I am mildly surprised that Hyruler did not opt for that, but, you know, this is a crystal dungeon that is full clearable to him, so...
Yeah, so he won't have the fire rod to fight Cold Stare with, but...
But given that Snuu found his second sword in here, Hyruler is going to, although he doesn't know it yet, wind up on Tempered Sword for this Cold Stare fight.
And that should definitely help as well, so...
Snuu, trying to be at absolutely maximum everything here, says, I know that this fight can go a little sideways, let's make sure it doesn't. Do everything in our power.
I wonder if he'll go for the double fire rod hits using the Master Sword beams. It's not typically his style. His style is just to like spam fire rod to get that shell broken quickly, use the potion, and blast away. But we'll see what he does today.
Nope, going to opt for the Bombo strats, going to try to save the menu of getting into the potion and the potion refill time.
Just barely missed that sword spin there.
And does not seem to be going for the potion refill here. Going to go ahead and fight it out with the Master Sword. But what was I saying earlier about runners taking their own advice?
Yep, it was definitely something you were saying. That said, you know, maybe this is because it's open hard and, you know, using the potion here, maybe that's something that later he just wants to avoid having to go do. I mean, with the flute, it's a pretty fast thing to go do, but...
But it is still time that you have to spend, and rather than do that, go ahead and get through the fight. Although the The Master Sword spins on Cold Stare. It's just time consuming. You don't really think about it because in the middle of the fight you're thinking, okay, so I need to dodge this buff, and now the ice is falling, and I've got this spin charged, and where can I hit more than one of them, hopefully? And it just kind of drags out for a little while.
Oh no, Hyruler. Hyruler having a little trouble here with the icebreaker. I think he actually had it if he just kept going to the...
Chat's catching us on this. Apparently he used that potion at some point.
Oh! Okay, he must have used it somewhere in Ice Palace or something. Yeah, this icebreaker is really giving Hyruler a tough time here.
Jon Snoo, seeing that piece of heart on Zora, says, "That's what I came all this way for?" And promptly save quits.
At least Hyruler is using the method where you don't get rid of your icebreaker or your Pain of Samaria block, so you don't have to keep reusing the magic for it. But I think at this point, if it's taken this long to do the icebreaker, it might have just been faster to bomb jump. There we go. Very nicely done. Gets that tempered sword.
Sometimes the tech just does not cooperate.
Very true. The way I do it is with select buffer, and I have saved and quit out of Ice Palace 2 or 3 times because of it, so...
And that's why select buffer terrifies me.
Yep. But that was fancy, the little hammer dash there. Alright, Jon Snoo heading up to the mountain now. Looks like he's probably going to be getting his Samaria here soon. But he does have the fire rod in hand. I wonder if he will just full clear Turtle Rock.
I don't see any particular reason that he wouldn't unless he decide. Given that he's also looking for Bow, I don't think there's a good argument to be made for him leaving the mountain and doing Mire first, since he's really looking at another mountain climb no matter what. And if the bow is just in Turtle Rock, then you're eating an additional one on top of it.
Yeah.
Hyruler also opting for this refill room, going to try and make sure that everything is in order, although without the fire rod, I don't think a whole lot changes having the extra magic. Bombos is not effective against the buffs themselves. And more Snoo swag hovers, because of course.
Yeah, I think maybe what Hyruler might be thinking is, like, if things go really south, he can always turn on that cape or Burna and just fight him with the sword. And yes, Crown Mageddon, Fire Rod is more damage than the Tempered Sword, I think it's Butter Sword damage.
It is.
Yeah. And very quick fight, just using that cape and slash, slash, slash away. Down goes Cold Stare for Hyruler.
That's a third crystal on the board for Hyruler. Jon Snoo has 4. The difference? Desert Palace. A difference in a couple of different ways, because that's also where the fire rod lies.
Yep. And now Hyruler did open Turtle Rock and go into it for a little bit, so that will cost him some time overall. And that's just because he didn't go to the Desert Palace Mire area first. But we are seeing the Mushroom Turn in here from Hyruler. I think this is something Jon Snoo didn't do.
Well, he may have, and it may have just been one of the remaining 47 pieces apart, and we didn't notice.
It could have been, yep. John, remembering he doesn't have the hook shot, so doing this fire-locked room the vanilla way, or the slow way.
Now, we talked about Hyruler's inability to do more of Turtle Rock, and we do see Big Key, Small Key on the Fire Rod lock side there. But Hyruler has the Cane of Samaria here, and is going to be able to go ahead and full clear Misery Mire.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crystal, you gotta get it done. You know, I definitely would prefer doing desert before coming in here, just in case I find a bow or something like that. It makes Viddy a little easier. With the cape and tempered sword, it's not like it's terrible, but the fire rod that he would find in Desert Palace does make the fire side of Mire easier to do.
Allows you to preserve your spooky action glitch as well, at least theoretically. Not even sure what preverb is, but I guess it's before whatever the verb is.
Preverb.
Would that be the noun, or is it the adjective?
In English, I think that would be the noun, right?
Maybe it's the adverb. There we go.
It could, yeah.
Now we're thinking.
Yeah, adverb works too. If you quickly kick something, yeah.
Speaking of quickly, though, Hyruler into Misery Mire has one item and the big key, so we did have a Hoverer's God Mire here. And Hyruler is going to go ahead and rush the boss, it does appear.
I mean, if the either item's just sitting on the boss, then you don't have to do anything else here. And especially without the fire rod for the left side, that's, you know, the big hope here. I don't know if it just feels like this to me, but it seems like with these qualifier hards, the bow seems to be the most likely go mode item lately. Like,
and one of the reasons that the progressive bows were implemented and the original separated bow and silvers was gone away from a little bit because there were an awful lot of bow go modes back in the day.
wow. Okay.
And that is you consider it a problem, it is a problem that the progressive bow system largely solved, but the return on that seems to have been that more often than not you don't really see a bow go mode anymore, and some people pine for the good olden days when they started playing Rando. And so people who got in on the progressive bow side of things say, why are we using non-progressive bows again? This is terrible.
You know, that's the thing about preferences. Like, there's always going to be somebody that likes one thing more than another. Can't please everyone.
Which is why we have 5 different modes. That way people can dislike whichever one they want, or whichever 3 or 4, or even all 5 that they want, if they're so inclined.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure what it says about the people who like all 5 of them, but, you know, it does take all kinds.
It does, yeah. Alright, there's Viddy down for Hyruler. Oh, wait, was that an item?
Somebody's going to have to catch me. I had glanced over to John, who has found another sword, is not ever going to see that sword in Super Bunny, because there is a 4th sword in Crystal Roller Room.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that was not an item because Hyruler is going back in?
Yeah, it has to be not. I think it was like the map or compass or something. Because it wasn't a key.
Jon Snuu working down to Laser Bridge here, where we're going to see at least one small key, and I have not been counting dungeon items for him, so I have no idea how many potential actual items he has.
I could have sworn you were going to say at least one bow. Oh, there it is! Hookshot and TR! I told you, Hookshot is always in TR for these qualifier modes.
Ah, this is why you're never punished, and I'm always punished.
Yeah, you would have gone to Graveyard Ledge looking for that hookshot.
Wouldn't have been the first time.
Okay, so that is, I mean, I guess it's still low go mode for Jon Snuu, since we know that he can hover. He's demonstrated multiple times. But it does unlock the back of Swamp, which could potentially have the bow.
And it's going to unlock Hookshot Cave for Hyruler.
Yes, he's
Jon
going to
Snuu
find
wouldn't have
that.
cared either way, but for Hyruler, that makes a big difference.
And I think there was still one item in Skull Woods, in the back of Skull, so... Like, in terms of things they have left, they both checked Eastern Palace. So pendants, as far as pendants are concerned, we have all of Swamp with that hook shot and the one item in the back of Skull.
We were not down to a remaining item, we were down to a remaining dungeon item, the Compass on Trinex, but that is another crystal on the board for Jon Snuu, up to 5 now.
I suspect he'll go to Meyer here, though.
At the very least, he's going to clear out the rest of Dark Mountain here while he's here.
Well, yeah, for sure. I wonder if he'll go into Spike Cave, because it's something that Hyruler tried to go do, but unfortunately took a death on the way over there to a Lionel. So we'll see what Hookshot Cave has. Oh, never mind. Doesn't have to. That's the bow.
There is go mode for Jon Snuu at 1 hour, 14 minutes and a half.
So it is just a matter of, will Hyruler go back to Turtle Rock with that fire rod, get his hook shot, and check the Hookshot Cave. So it looks like Jon Snuu is a little bit ahead, though, having already obtained 5 crystals. Hyruler working on his 5th one right now. But Turtle Rock is a little bit slower than Meyer. And Jon Snuu already has his go mode, so he just got a clear pod and Meyer and go to GT.
And all of this madness later, I believe, if I'm kind of paying attention to where the items were and when, that this was a required double dip of Palace of Darkness.
Oh, gosh.
Because you had to come in here to get... Well, the flute was in here, but that wasn't what changed things.
No. There was something, I think it was Mitz? No, Mitz was in Hype Cave. A hammer. It was the hammer. It was the hammer in Hyrule's Hallway.
Yeah. It was the Prince Vanilla hammer.
That's what it was. So flute and hammer were both here in pod. So required double dip, because there's no way you're getting to Hookshot Cave without the hammer.
You had to have some way to get to Hype Cave to get the glove, and that was via getting the hammer in pod.
Exactly.
Because I think your only real alternative would have been to perform major glitches, and then the appeals would begin.
I mean, I wouldn't appeal. I'm no snitch. Are you?
Oh, I don't know, but can you say the same about everybody out there in chat? I'm eyeing you, chat. I see you there.
Mm-hmm. Some sus names over there. These are also a few other things that John will get to skip. The Meyer area, for instance. Or did he do that? I think he did do that. Never mind.
Yeah, he did. He just didn't bother to check the Meyer medallion because there was no reason to. He had all 3 of the medallions, and unless he had decided to go in at that point with no Cane of Samaria, there wasn't really a reason to.
Wait, is this Hyruler going back into Meyer again? Did he not actually go grab the 2nd item? I could have sworn he went back in here.
So could I, but here he is.
I wonder if he like maybe tried to go left first and then realized he didn't have a key, and then just decided, nah, I'll go do desert first. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Linofis in chat for saying that. So it looks like that's what it was. He realized he didn't have the small key.
And didn't want to spend all of the additional time. Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's going back to check now. Unfortunately for him, there is not really anything that could be here that could help him.
Being
But
locked down
there's-
to only one bottle, that would really be the only thing in a normal seed that could have appeared there. But
Yeah,
in this, in the modified hard item pool, once you have your one bottle, you're set for the game.
yeah. And in fact, I think like Jon Snuu is max gear. Like you can't get a better sword, you can't get a better mail upgrade. There's no more shield upgrades or bottles. So this is it. You're fully equipped here.
I guess you could look for the book just in case you want a little light reading on the flight from Ganon's tower to the top of the pyramid.
Okay, that's fair, I suppose. I don't even remember where that book was. And that's one thing I wonder, did Hyruler see the shovel on Hylia Island when he was down there?
I'm not sure if that happened or not. It
Yeah.
does look like Hyruler is back up on the mountain, though, so is heading in the right direction for the checks that he needs to make.
Oof, almost got blocked by that dead rock again. That rock just wants to go into the middle of the bridge there. But yeah, this should do it for Hyruler. He'll find his hookshot here, almost certainly check hookshot cave afterwards, and be in go mode as well. Unfortunately for Hyruler, I think he's just a little bit too far behind, so this is definitely Jon Snoo's game to lose here. Oh, more hovering from Jon Snoo. Over from the Godmire area, just like you said. What did you call it? A hover's...
Hoverer's Godmire. Non-Hoverer's
Hoverer's
Godmire is the big key being over in the spike chest.
Ah, okay. So the big key there on the bridge chest, you just hover right on over and go. Wow. That's crazy. That's the ultimate Godmire for hoverers.
And Hyruler attempting to go the direction that you can only really make work if you have the hookshot, but it's rando and it's muscle memory because so often you just get in here, you have the hookshot already.
Yep. Many times I have done this, many times I've seen runners do it. Meanwhile, Jon Snoo using Spooky and remembering he didn't actually have to use it in that first room, so undoing his Spooky and then...
Going to have the blink into miss it Vitreous fight, has the silver arrows out. Suddenly all the eyeballs are just gone.
Down it goes. Alright. Wait. Did Jon Snoo go to do pod yet? I thought he just did pod.
Yeah, he did pod.
Okay, so this is 7 crystals for Jon Snoo, right?
At least I'm pretty sure he did pod. Now I'm second guessing myself.
No, it is. Okay, so we have a little game we like to play. We already see some numbers in chat. Mindium, would you like to explain?
Well, now that Jon Snoo has 7 crystals in hand, it is indeed that time. It's time to go climb this mountain once again. We have to go rummage around in Ganon's basement. There are 22 checks in the basement that you can make to try and find that big key. Since we have a full inventory at this point, we know that 21 of those are trash, but one of them is that treasure that he needs to climb the tower and win the game. So you are welcome to guess. We will count them based on the way he opens them. It's not like we're going to, unfortunately, have a side-by-side comparison here, it appears.
What would you like to guess, Mindium?
Oh, something silly. Let's say 13.
Oh, nice. I'm going with 17. It's a deep, big key today.
And yes, the small keys are all terrible because what you're hoping for is you just get the big key on the torch and you step into the room right next to it, pick up the small key from under the pot, which is not one of the counted checks, and you go up the tower. Just steal another one from a mini Helmosaur up there near the top, and you're good to go. One check tower, easy game, right?
Yeah, I was just noticing that. I'm wondering what's going on with Hyruler's there. It looks like it froze for him.
Possibly technical difficulty. It would not
What?
be the first one involved in this race. There was a little pre-race technical difficulty going on as well, which is why we were mildly late to the game. But in the end, we've had ourselves a pretty good game thus far. Jon Snuu going to check Hope Room, gets bombs and a small key, mirrors out anyway.
Right. It's 2 checks.
That is the wrong key on the torch game. How are you supposed to just take the torch big key and grab that small key right there and go up the tower? How are you
Yeah.
supposed to only make one check in GT when you don't put the big key in the right place?
You gave us the Hover's Godmire, but you do this?
Game not cooperating.
So this is 4 through 7, still no big key. Using that Ether Medallion to get rid of these Stalfuses. Is that the plural of Stalfos?
Stalfi, maybe? I don't know.
Stalfi?
Stalfoses?
Stalfoses. They both sound wrong. I don't know.
Or maybe it's Stalfos, kind of like Moose.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely
One
gotta
Moose,
be
mini
it.
Moose, one Stalfos, mini Stalfos.
Yeah. Unless it's
But
like,
then we have big Stalfos and we have mini Stalfos. So if we have mini Stalfos, what are we doing?
you lost me. Oh my gosh. Ninjastin style phases. I don't know. It could be like Goose Geese, you know? Stalfo, Stalfees. Did we go with that one already?
At that point, I think we're getting too close to geese, and geese are horrifying and generally not terribly nice creatures, so let's not go there. The Stalfos are terrible enough on their own. There's the big key for Jon Snoo, going to open one more check for 20 rupees. I don't know, maybe
I
you
think that was
need
number
to
10.
tip the duck on your way. I don't know. Just one more check for fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Silver arrows through Mimics 1, through Mimics 2. Says, yes, I will take that Singleton Heart. Make my life just a little easier since we do have the gauntlet coming up.
Oh, I've never seen that before. Jumping down and shooting the bottom switch.
That is a relatively new NMG strat. I am not surprised that someone like Jon Snoo has picked that one up.
And getting the dash on the Ganon Bridge there, too.
There are some number of RNG patterns for those cannonballs. You have to read. There are kind of 3 primary groupings of them, but within them there are more. And you have to read roughly which of them you have to determine where and when you can start that dash. Now my head just explodes. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, I watched a little video on it, and it's based on those first 3 cannonballs. You have to read those, and depending on which one shoots first is when you can start your dash. So you had it right. That is a possibility, Lanafis in chat. Yeah, we are on a 10-minute delay, so it is fairly possible that Jon Snoo did finish already, and Hyruler just went ahead and cut the stream. So that could be what happened there.
It is unfortunately a little easy to get at that stop stream or stop stream discard delay. The buttons are literally right next to each other in
Yeah.
OBS, and easier than one might like to admit to hit the wrong one.
I've definitely done it before.
I haven't, but only because I've always worried about doing it.
But we are getting to see some phenomenal climbing action here by Snuu. He is just blazing through this tower, climbing through, demonstrating some of those NMG skills he's learned, doing this incredibly fast.
On the very comfortable equipment set, that tempered sword, you're on green mail, but you don't worry about it, you're always on green mail when you get here. No half magic, but who expects to have that? Misses a fire rod shot, says, well, I got this lamp as backup, let's just go ahead and use it.
Not quite enough magic to use the powder there, but no big deal. He's already almost at full health anyway, and there's that full magic refill, so just gotta take out this shoulder or hover.
Why take out the Troll Dorm when you don't have to? So, final score. Runners 2, Troll Dorm 1, and a DNF.
Yes, DNF.
Yes, in the final Moldorm battle that we are going to see, the result was a non-result. I guess we can chalk it up as 2-1-1?
Yeah, 2-1-1. Well, I don't know, because that's not really a tie. So 2-1-0-1.
I feel like we're getting into shootout rules here, and it's becoming far too complicated. Let's just not worry about it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Meanwhile, Snuu taking down Aga 2. He's got, what, that's 4 hits now, I think? 5? Oh, just barely missed that 6th one.
See, here's where we were supposed to be counting properly, and we didn't.
Yeah. Let's just say this was 2-1-0-1, even though it definitely was not.
I'm not sure why the wizard's fallen to the floor in that case, but okay, we'll run with
it. Yeah, that's only 4 hits. Okay, now let's see John show us his Silver's Tempered Sword Ganon fight.
We'll be looking for classical NMG strats here with this Tempered Sword in Phase 1. 3 quick slashes, try to get the double spin off of the trident, go ahead and cover up the remaining slashes, or maybe a spin down there on the bottom, depending on where Ganon warps to.
We got the 3 slashes in the spin, and I think that's enough. There we go. Moving into dash strats for Phase 2. Oh, don't get bodied. Okay.
Has hugged the pig, and so has chosen to put the cape on, says, I have this safety, and I am going to use it.
Good call for him there. You don't want to take any risks at this point. You're fighting the pig. You don't know where your opponent is. And you got silver, so it's not like you're going to need the magic, so...
Silver's Ganon's one true weakness. You saw that NMG muscle memory. Snuu was getting ready to set a spin there and start doing silverless because he's so used to doing silverless. But nope, you get to just go ahead and start sticking 4 silver sticks into the pig. You got a couple, just need a couple more.
Alright, this should be the last hit for Snuu. Get your GGs in chat. Snuu is about to walk across this bridge and finish the game here.
Just has to wait for that fanfare to play out, the bridge to extend. Yeah, the door doesn't open until then, so it's not as though you can just hover in. I'm sure otherwise he would have. But there you are, GG's in chat for Snuu, who is going to finish at 131.50 and take home the win in this matchup.
Yep, GG's to Snuu, and GG's to Hyruler too. Both of them demonstrating, really good execution. It was a fun match to watch. It just looks like Hyruler got trolled a little bit by the rando with the Fire Rod being Desert Palace. He went into Turtle Rock first without it. Some things here and there that just ended up costing him time. And I think, some of the execution Snuu performed today extraordinarily well. Showing us some really clean hovers as well.
Good boss fights, generally good rooms. You can say that there was definitely some rando in there. The timing and location of that fire rod, I think, more than anything, is really what wound up swinging this.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, for
such
sure.
is life in rando.
Yep.
I do see that we have Jon Snuu there in the waiting room, just holding on for a moment here.
There he is.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Jon Snuu. Good game to you.
GG's.
Me and Hyruler were talking. I don't know if they're going to be joining us, but apparently Hyrule finished TR whenever the done happened on my end. GG's to them. They told me what happened. Just really unfortunate for the TR call.
Yeah, it's tough when you make the early choice into TR like that, thinking, I don't really want to get punished if there's something early in here, or if it is just the fire rod, or at that point it could have been the bow that leads to the fire rod. And then you're kind of in a position of, well, how do I get back? And on top of that, Hyruler was still a little later even after that to the fire rod, getting into desert, so as Merc and I were saying before you got in here with us, that I think was really our turning point, was your relatively earlier play into Desert Palace, having the fire rod for the TR trip, which essentially was the last push the dominoes needed to all fall over and put the seed away.
Well, my thought process was, with how everything else was laid out, you know, you have an Aga entry, which is why I went straight to Catfish, where that way I can make sure that whenever I'm done with ice, I can just head straight to Zora if I have to, right? So finish the Catfish, go into Pod, got, what do we get? We got Hammer there, and I think something else, I don't remember.
Hammer and Flute.
Hammer and Flute, thank you. Yeah, I got the Flute, and I was like, man, that gives me nothing. I'm gonna keep And after all that was said and done, you know, on a Pod, go get that shovel just in case, because you never know, it's rando. And I just had a really nice line going into Thieves Town, covered a lot of things, got Bombos, so I was like, okay, cool, that's Ice Palace eventually. I'm gonna keep going though, because I don't want to really leave behind. I'll probably abandon Skull Woods as a pendant for now, because density is everywhere at the moment. And then after I was done with these, I'm like, all right, King's Tomb, Flute to Desert. Desert's completable. We could find out, you know, Mire Shed, Checkerboard. That's like 6 items there, right? So why not? And after all that was said and done, I was like, well, now we got 3 items in ice. Let's go to ice. And then after ice, was like, all right, mountain. That's like 25 items.
Yeah, I think
all the things.
Yeah, I think Hyruler had gone up the Light Mountain, gotten the Cane of Samaria before going to Ice Palace or Desert Palace. So I think that was the big change. Even though he was able to do the Icebreaker, having gone up the mountain without the Fire Rod really is kind of like what we talked about already, kind of put him behind. I think, you know, for the very, very, very early portion of the game, he was slightly ahead for the most part.
Right.
But then with that and, you know, some general execution and boss fights, I think he struggled a little bit with the Icebreaker as well. You started to pull ahead and maintain your lead very strongly. I wanted to comment, where was it? It was, I think, in the Aga climb. It was just such an incredibly fast room that I've never seen.
It was Circle of Pots room.
Yes,
your Circle of Pots room was really nice.
I was like, what the heck? It was just like pot, boomerang, bye. I was like, whoa! And you even got some arrows along the way. I was just like, man.
The NMG grind was real for me last year. Currently, I'm trying to push for 127. Just the nice little things here and there you can pick up along the way. It's actually kind of insane. The amount of work people do to figure out faster strats is insane too. Shout out to ALTTPR strats.net.
I think you demonstrated a couple of newer strats too. In Ganon's Tower, you jumped down in that room with the 2 switches and shot an arrow on the lower switch.
Yep.
That was cool. And then you did the dash across the bridge without getting hit, which was also cool. So
I learned very recently that for Cannonball Bridge, Cannonball Z, whatever you want to call it, I learned very quickly that there's actually only 4 RNG patterns that you got to concern yourself with.
Okay.
Once you study those 4, you just gotta prac hack them and then go from there. Almost every pattern is pre-set up though. As long as you hold upright out of the door, you can pre-line up every single preemptive dash for that. There's only one that you have to make an adjustment for.
Wow. But yeah, definitely, like, it was just impressive to watch. Very impressive, very entertaining, and thank you so much for putting on that show for us today.
No problem. I was sad that I found hookshot on Laser Bridge.
You wanted it to be no hookshot, huh?
Absolutely, because after TR, no matter what, I was going to do hookshot cave regardless.
Yeah, that we were wondering if it was going to be a hookshotless seed, with Swamp Palace being a pendant. It could have been anywhere.
I wanted it so bad.
But you did demonstrate quite a lot of hovering for us, so.
Oh wow, yeah, we had boots the whole game, didn't we?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Spectacle Rock hover in both directions, 3 or 4 different Ice Palace hovers, on and on down the list.
Yep. The hover's Godmire, as my DM called it.
It's nice whenever you get it. It saves you, I think it saves you a minute and some change.
Wow, that's a good amount actually.
Well, you got to think of the screen transitions for running all the way back down, right? And then you got to get the pot. You got to get the pot key, take the door, then you got to come back up, and you got to go through the Wizrobe and Anti-Fairy room. Then you got to climb up the stairs.
Yeah, that's an incredible one. That's great.
So before we let you go, this puts you at 2-0 in Group Q now. That ties you with Zero Rush for 2-0 status, and in wins with both Zero Rush and Ninban. You have some more games coming up on the schedule here. What can we look out for?
Tomorrow, so Sunday at 2 p.m. will be Game 2 versus Ninban. Scared and looking forward to that one at the same time. That'll decide if it's 1-1 or 2-0. And I believe for the remainder of our group, after me and Ninban is going to be doing a double header later that night against Zero Rush at 9 o'clock. Restreams and everything else TBT.
But yeah, that means more Group Q action coming your way. Of course, there are 32 of these 4-player groups, and there are a handful of people who are already decided as making their way on in, but many more yet to come, so please, by all means, stay tuned. This next week's worth of Link to the Past main tournament group action coming for you in the very near future. I would have to think that we've got more games on the schedule today, which is why I keep the schedule up to have a look at it.
I was about to do the same.
Yep. I think we are about an hour into a matchup between Shady Force and Cool Pop Bell on Group L over on SpeedGaming 6. A little later on, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Group Brisket, a T-Stu Vexed for matchup on SG Prime. And an hour after that, the other pair from Group Brisket going to face off. That's going to be Spy and Sean Rhapsody on SpeedGaming 4. So if you tuned into the reveal stream for groups and you know what the whole brisket is about, well, Group Brisket has proven itself to be a fiery, smoky delight thus far, and we have matchups of all 4 runners coming up for you this evening. And then more to be announced in future days. There are many more matches that are going to be going on here. John, thank you for agreeing to come in here and put on this show for everybody. Good game to you. Good game to Hyruler as well. This is your reminder. I do see that Chief dropped that in chat here a handful of minutes ago, but follow these runners. Putting on a show for your enjoyment on this Saturday afternoon. I am MindDM. My co-commentator has been Smirk JD. Smirk, you want to say a few words about the Speed Gaming Network before we go ahead and give this thing up?
I do. I want to just say thank you so much for everybody that's involved, the Restream volunteers, and everybody that puts a lot of time and work into getting these things going for us all to watch. And I'm just super appreciative. And thank you, MindDM, for co-commenting with me today. And And a big shout out again to the runners today, Jon, Snuu, and Hyruler.
Well, thanks. GG's.
Yep, if you need some more of the speed gaming action in your life, go ahead and follow SpeedGaming 2 through 6. If you need some more of the Link to the Past Randomizer main tournament action, there is also ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 5. Speed Gaming alternative language channels, if you happen to speak one or more of the following Deutsch, Portuguese, Espanol, or Francais, well, we've got those kicking around for you too. And with that, I think we have done the thing here. Let's go, if we're so inclined, see a little more rando action. But for my buddy Smirk JD, for the runners, Jon, Snuu, and Hyruler, for our tracker, Nervendoch, please, by all means, have a great rest of your afternoon or evening, everybody.
Bye.